Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testicles. Hello, welcome back to another Overall Nerds video. Today, we are answering the question:
is Kenny overpowered?
Can we agree season 5 was amazing, right? And everyone has said such good things about it, but there's been one complaint that I've heard around, social media, and that's Kenny is a bit overpowered and that he doesn't belong being Cobra Kai's top fighter. But we're here to tell you that that doesn't make sense.
I mean, he is the main antagonist for Cobra Kai in that season as well, so I guess he had to. But if we're going to look at what Kenny was from the get-go, he was that typical Daniel setup, This kid who gets bullied on, gets picked on, and then he gets picked up by Cobra Kai. So I guess he's more in line with more Miguel this time. So he kind of has that natural setup. And normally with those characters, they do end up becoming quite powerful. So that maybe you could extend that overpowered thing to Miguel or Daniel. But with Kenny here, the first extent of it, I guess, is that he makes it to semi-finals in season 4 of the tournament, of the All Valley tournament.
Okay.
And I guess you could say he's overpowered in the sense that he makes it to the semis. But as soon as Robbie drops the act and being okay, I'm not your friend anymore, Kenny gets demolished. He doesn't even get a hit on him. So I think it's I think that's quite noteworthy to show that he's not really overpowered. He doesn't know everything yet. But I guess even if you look at they made it to semis, Miguel made it to the final and won. Daniel made it to the final.
That's what I'm saying, right? What we need to look at, right, when it comes to these brilliant fighters like Robbie, Kenny, Miguel, Eli, all these people that could be seen as overpowered, like we just said, right? Let's look at them as a character. Let's look at what they're fighting for, right? And there tends to be this pattern, especially in Cobra Kai, where if a character is fighting out of necessity, they end up being an amazing fighter.
So if they're getting bullied or
getting bullied, Robbie didn't have balance in his life. Hawk wanted confidence. Sam was fighting for legacy, like Miyagi, and Tori's been fighting the whole life. These 5 fighters are the best on the show, and they haven't joined out of choice. They've joined out of necessity to prove a point.
Well, as compared to someone like Mitch or
the
Chris.
bitch. Mitch the bitch.
Oh,
Cue of him coming in and being a traitor. Stupid Kyler. I don't like any of them.
But no, because they joined because they saw how badass Cobra Kai was at the end of season 1.
It wasn't out of necessity. They joined out of...
They want to be cool.
Being cool. Same with Kyler. They didn't join out of necessity. He just got recruited. And,
and
for the wrong reasons, right? There's no fight for themselves. They just joined so they could either beat people up or...
Be badass.
Right?
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So if you take Kenny, where does Kenny fall into that? He falls into fighting out of necessity. He's being bullied by Anthony Lepusso, right? He's made him want to become a better fighter. He's got a point to prove. He's not this little small bitch, right? Who people can just bully around. By having that fight in him, it makes sense as to why he's...
Add some levels to him.
Yeah, but why he's become so good in, 6 months? Because Miguel was the exact same. Miguel, within 2-3 months of training, managed to take on 5-6 guys.
Even more of Robbie. Robbie started later.
Yeah, exactly. And he managed to take on those 2 guys.
They overpowered Robbie way more than they did Kenny.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, Robbie learned that special technique that only Mr. Miyagi knew in a day. So when you compare it to Kenny,
exactly.
Kenny's had a more natural progression. He's just been training.
Let's look at who Kenny's been trained by. He's had one-on-one intensive exclusive training with Robbie, who's one of the best fighters, right? Chris and Terry Silver.
Yeah.
Right. So, and if you notice the way Terry Silver fights, I can't remember the name of his fighting, but it's very much like no
honor, right? That's
honor,
like what Trojan was saying.
And if you look at the way Kenny fights, he uses his speed and he uses his weakness. He uses people perceiving him as weak. Like
in the final fight when he's like, you don't have to do this. And then he's like, yeah, I do.
And the thing, because he tries to catch him off guard. Same with when he was about to fight Hawk at the start in the swimming pool area. Hawk was like, you're not going to strike. He's like, you're too pushy to strike first. And Kenny looks away. Because he's learned to fight with no...
Dirty.
To fight dirty, that's the word. Cobra Kai way. Right? So when it comes to him being overpowered, that's him as a character, right? That's the reason why we think maybe it's not so out of the question.
Yeah. I think many of these characters can be seen as overpowered.
Exactly.
I think Kenny's just another one of those.
It's a mixture of the way what he's fighting for, but also the way he's fighting. But I would like to see him, when he got to semi-finals, maybe if you saw a bit more the way he was fighting.
Yeah.
But like we said, he uses dirty tactics. If he comes up against someone who can actually fight, not Kyler, not Mitch.
When they're not holding back, Kenny normally loses. So I think you can't say he's overpowered at this current point.
And that's a perfect transition into the international qualifier tournament, right? He beat Hawk, and everyone's saying, oh, how can he beat Hawk? Doesn't make sense. Hawk was taking it easy via Robbie's instructions. And also, Kenny was fighting dirty via Terry Silver's instructions.
Yeah.
So, exactly, right? Kenny scored a point because Hawk was taking it easy and he used dirty tactics. I'm not saying this is why Kenny's not overpowered. He's just overcompensated for.
Yeah.
He's overprotected by everyone else, right? And he's using that to his advantage. And I can't wait to see what he does in season 6.
What do you guys think? Do you think Kenny might be overpowered? Have they pushed it too far in terms of his progression by this point? Leave your comments down below, like the video, subscribe so you can see more, and we'll see you later.